And we both saw in that part in the video where it's like where
Yeah.
he laid out the total taxes, and it was like, what's up, guys? I'm Zap. This is Jericho, and we are the now six-time international award-winning pop hip hop music group Band of Future. We do clean and fun music that everyone can listen to with a sound that is uniquely Californian. And right now, you are tuned into the Life's a Circus podcast, where we talk about things that are funny, interesting, and ridiculous. So, yo, help us out. Help out your boys. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you comment, and make sure you share this video.
Okay. Starting off right. Didn't expect that so soon. All right.
Sure, I felt something in my shonda real quick.
And I'm mad at you.
Because we talking about money, man.
Oh.
Share this video with somebody who wants to be rich.
Ooh, I know some folks.
Because it seems nice. It seems like it is nice. I think it is nice. I'm not rich per se. But it's not all it's cracked up to be.
Oh, do tell.
And there's some things about being rich that I think maybe a lot of people don't expect. Maybe they do. I don't know. But yeah, we're gonna talk about something because a NFL player recently shared his literal game check on social media.
Okay.
What he got paid, all of his deductions, taxes, take home pay, all that kind of stuff. And it might not be what you think it is. And make sure you stick around to the end of the video where I share one area where rich people have it the worst.
Ooh.
So yeah, let's check out this video first.
There's a video.
There's a video. This is Arik Armstead.
Okay.
He's the defensive end for the San Francisco 49ers.
I want you guys to see how actual NFL game check works. Let's break it down. Quick disclaimer here. My salary is on Google, so you can look up how much I make. This is for motivational and educational purposes only. I'm not here to flex on anybody. I've been extremely blessed in my life, and I work hard, and I do make a substantial amount of money. But this isn't to flex on anybody. This is so people can understand and see how it works in the NFL. So whenever I get my game check, the first number I look at is this number right here, and it says amount. And I know that means that's what hit my account. When you want to make yourself a little sad, then you go back up to the top and look at what you're supposed to get at this number right here. The earnings section breaks down what you made essentially. So I have a P5BW, which the code for that means paragraph 5, which means like your base salary, what you're supposed to make. Now, last year, the team converted my salary into a signing bonus for cap relief. So majority of the money I made was in the form of a signing bonus, as you can see right here with this pay code. That's what I got in the form of a signing bonus, and this is what I got in the form of salary, which totals to here. Now you wonder, how do you get from there to there? And the first thing you got to do is look at the tax section. So the tax section breaks down all the taxes that were taken out of your game check before you ever receive it. Sometimes people pay taxes from the money they make, but they take our taxes out beforehand. Now, as you can see right here, you have this med, which is probably a medical tax or Medicaid or Medi-Cal. You have the federal tax, which you can see is probably the most hefty, is $144,000. You have your state tax, which is another $40,000, and then that funnels up to the total of you pay in taxes, which is $194,000 out of my game check. And then right here, you can see how much taxes I
That hurt him a little to say it.
I know you can see him like,
all the payroll deductions.
oh.
So payroll deductions are where you pay your 401k, pay your union dues and NFLPA. If I got game tickets for my family, it'll come out of here. Then we can go to the wages amount. You can see the year to date on that.
So that's the video.
Sure.
He posted that on TikTok. And so just right off the bat, just first impression, what did you think about that video?
I don't like
him posting it.
I don't like the transparency. I really don't. I think I don't.
Why is that?
Because if I was a person of that status, it's my business. I wouldn't want people to know.
But he said, even though he said his salary is on Google, you can just look it up.
It's still different. I could find out a lot of things about people if I look, but offering it freely, I think it's another thing. So for me, I'm just, and also it's not something that interests me personally. I don't need to know what. To me, it might be a little old school thinking. I'm more like, what you make is part of like, that's your business. I don't ask you about certain things. If you want to disclose to me, sure, go ahead. But I'm not a fan.
Interesting. So I guess we'll disagree on this point because I kind of like the video because especially when you see so many videos of like entertainers or athletes, actors, rappers, whatever, and they just kind of like they're just flashing money everywhere, and so like the general public has this perception of like, okay, they got this much, or this is happening, or and it's kind of gives a false idea of like how much money they really have. And I think that he could have made a video that was, like you said in the beginning, it's like it could have been flashy or whatever and just showing off.
Sure.
But it seemed like very genuine. Like, he wanted to show people that, it does, just because you get a big check doesn't mean that all that comes to you. There are a lot of people I saw in the comments who thought they like the NFL players just get a check and they pay taxes later. But it's kind of like a regular job. They take out the taxes before you even get the check.
Sure.
So, and then, we saw like how much was taken out. It was just, I just thought it was interesting because I've never seen a player do that, like break down his game check. And there were some interesting parts of that I think would help people who think they want to become rich, but they don't really know what happens when you hit that level of money. There's some interesting parts in those videos that I think he highlighted.
Well, I think it's more, maybe not the video specifically. Like I said, if it was me, I wouldn't do something like that. But I think it's more than anything, people that aren't rich feeling a sense of entitlement to know how much the rich, meaning if we didn't know how much Jeff Bezos was making or how much Elon Musk was making or whatever, I think people would honestly be mad about, like, we need to know. They're so rich. How rich are they? They it's like we have a right to know that information. I don't think people do. So that's more my angle on it. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. And then just to give people an idea of, because the video goes kind of fast, it's kind of, you can't really see the numbers. So just to give people a breakdown of the numbers, his gross check was $361,944.44 for a week, which is just like astronomical. But he only took home $198,210.92.
Yeah.
So yeah, and we both saw in that part in the video where it's like he laid out the total taxes and it was like $194,000, and he couldn't hold that back. He's like, anyway.
Yeah. Like, it's nice to know that that's your take home, or rather, you're getting taxed that much because you're making so much, but also it's like just to see it in front of your face is so much I actually made. Oof.
Yeah. So that's the first point I kind of want to, I guess, address here. For anybody who's like, oh, it must be great to be rich. Half.
Keep us in mind too. That's pretty generous, because I believe as recently as the 70s, it was like 90% for people of that, like literally 90% for people of that income level.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, before Reaganomics, taxes were crazy high.
The government is gangster, man. Like, it just, we can't even fathom it. Like, they take 30% out of my check, and I'm just like, I'm ready to throw stuff, man. Like, this is all I get.
Right.
So, like, right off the bat, half. And then I think is another thing that's interesting for people to know is that, like, places like California, where there is a state tax, that hurts too, man.
Yeah.
His check, that's nearly $41,000 that he wouldn't have to pay if he lived in like Nevada or something.
Right. Exactly.
And he played for the Raiders instead of like what, 6 hours west.
Yep. That's the whole difference.
6 hours west costs you $41,000
a week.
A week. Yeah.
That's the kicker, you know. And for the NFL specifically, it's only for the game, you know, the weeks they play. So it's not like he's getting paid that for a year. He's getting paid that for 17 weeks because there's 17 weeks or 17, 18, whatever it is, you know. Right. And for the NFL, which was why I'm like, if people get the choice between NFL and NBA, they tend to go NBA. Most contracts aren't guaranteed. So he's making that till he gets hurt. And then, so, you know.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of, that's why I like the video, because there's a lot of things in there. The last thing I want to bring up is that there are some things beyond the taxes that he had to pay as well. One thing I didn't know is that he had to pay for game tickets.
Okay. Now you mentioned that did surprise me.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess it makes sense. I don't know how many people on an NFL roster, like 50, 100?
50, 52, 53 maybe.
Yeah, so you got all those people and all their family and all their friends. Like, you're going to take a massive chunk of the stadium. You can't just give away all those tickets.
Right.
So I guess I kind of make from a revenue standpoint, I guess maybe they're discounted, I assume, but still, it's like you have to pay for it. It didn't seem like a whole lot, but that was interesting. And then dues to the Player Association. Like all these dues and these, you know, you're in these unions and stuff like that. You got to kind of count those costs too. Right. So all these actors striking, like we pay dues to SAG, for that stuff to happen. So, you know, that comes out of the money you make too. So it's just interesting. But I'm going to end it with this because
the kicker.
Yeah, the kicker. And this, you know, if that wasn't enough to make you think twice about what it is like being rich. In a Forbes article a few years ago, and I think this is still, the numbers are probably still roughly the same. You know, people like this guy, 80% of NFL players are broke a few years after retirement. People making millions and millions of dollars, and then after 4 or 5 years of millions of dollars, somehow they a large majority of them end up broke. And it pointed out 5 major reasons in this article as to why that happens. So just wanted to see what you think are those reasons. Why would someone who's making millions of dollars, you think you're set up for life, and then all of a sudden you're broke?
Well, I think the number one thing I can think of is like the posse, like the friends, the family handouts, the support. I'm starting my clothing line, man. I just need $50,000 to get it started.
That's number 2 on the list. Yeah.
Okay. Things like that. Bad investments. Because people are investing more, I've noticed, but
I'll put that in number 1. Lack of financial planning and planning advice is number 1.
Okay. Yeah, lack of financial planning, Pookie and them for just handing out money. The lack of savings, would that count? Well, no, that doesn't make any sense. They obviously didn't save the money because they don't have it. I've heard of people just gambling a lot. Like I know Charles Barkley had a bad gambling problem. Maybe that's not a top.
That kind of goes into number 1, I think.
Okay, so I'm just kind of covering the top 2. What else could it, for people losing the money?
So there's 3 more. 2 of them have to do with things that happened during their career, and one of them has to have to do with something after their career.
Some kind of either divorce or alimony.
Yes, that's number 3.
Okay.
So number 1 is lack of planning.
Uh-huh.
Number 2 is feeling obligated to help everybody out, family, friends, Pookie and them, everybody.
Right. Yeah.
And number 3 is divorce, legal fees, alimony, child support, all that kind of stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I can see, and it's like I think everyone knows that going in there, and they still just walk into it like, okay, I'll be the next one.
Yeah, they said there's literally the Players Association. There's a mandatory financial, something or another that you have to go to,
Uh-huh.
and still it's just they come out broke at the end.
And is it just like the luxurious lifestyle, cars and mansions and stuff too, or? I'm honestly thinking about what happened to Thugnificent while he lost all like the water park.
All this thugnificence.
Yeah, like the water park in the background and hiring those girls. And he's like, after a while, he's like, no, I'll turn the water off. It's like my counter is getting too expensive.
Ding dong. Are you gonna keep paying the doorbell girl, because she's getting kind of expensive?
Exactly. Seems fun at first. What else? But you said there's 2 more, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Not cars, not legal stuff. Getting sued, maybe. Well, that's legal. That's legal.
I'll just give them to you.
Yeah, hit me.
Number 1 was lack of financial planning. Number 2, feeling obligated to support everybody. Number 3, divorce, legal fees, alimony, child support. Number 4 is just lack of awareness of how quickly your career could end on an injury.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody, the money sounds amazing, but at the same time, you are just one injury away from just puff, like all gone. So number 4 is injury. And number 5 is just not preparing for a second career. The average NFL career being 4 years, like at some point in time, you have to think, okay, that money most likely will not carry you for the rest of your life. You got to do something else. At the very least, it won't carry you the way you were living while you had the money. It's just, you can't keep up that same lifestyle without those game checks still coming in.
Now you got to get I guess it's probably like a Rich Paul is his name, like a really good agent or something that just works out these deals, because I think the Lakers are still paying Luol Deng. Like, I'm serious. I think they are. And I know for sure that one of the baseball teams has a Frank Thomas Day, because he gets paid. Oh no, Bobby Bonilla. He gets paid every whatever for still the next 20 years or something crazy, because he hasn't played for a decade or more, and he's still getting paid. So work that kind of thing out. Otherwise, money comes and goes really fast, no matter how much it is.
So that's what it's like to get paid as an NFL player. That's kind of what it's like. There's a lot of stuff that comes at you when you have a lot of money. At the beginning, I said there's something you might want to know that might deter you from becoming super rich. And that part is the taxes, like we saw in that video. So as much as people complain about the 1%ers and all that kind of stuff, they actually pay 40% of all the taxes in America. And the top 20%, so roughly people making $100,000 or more, pay 95% of all of the taxes. So they are taking their money. Like, the U.S. government is taking their money. Basically, those people pay for the government. Anybody below that, which is a large 80% of the country, is just chipping in 5%. So
interesting.
Yeah, that's a very interesting statistic, because there was a statistic floating around that the 1%ers pay 95%. That was kind of debunked. But it's actually about the top 20% who like all of their money is going to running the government.
Still, yeah.
So, and then imagine if that's you, and then the people who are paying 5% are like protesting because you make too much money.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just like, like
more money, more problems. But I'll take that one though.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
Yeah, yeah. It has its perks too. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. He can. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll take it. Hey, Powerball is about to be $1 billion again. How does this keep happening?
I don't know, man.
I'm gonna go get a ticket tonight. And if you don't see me tomorrow, you know what happened.
Maybe this is a Life Circus podcast, and you just like everything is gold behind you.
What? This is the same. And I just have 10 rings with 20 rings on top of the ring. Man, I'm tired. My arms are very heavy. Like, you know.
It's just there's a few servants that speak your words for you.
I want that so bad. They have chips in their brain that they can read my thoughts. Yeah.
Intro, go. I'll never mess it up again.
Oh, they still will. But
all right. Well, this has been another long episode of the Life Circus podcast. Thanks to everybody who stuck around for this one. But again, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share this video with somebody who thinks it's all birds and feathers to be rich.
I'm gonna say roses, but those are both nice things. Birds have feathers.
New phrase. New phrase.
All birds and feathers, man. I guess.
Yeah. Someone should come and take my job, because I'm just making up stuff. It's not a real phrase.
They took our jobs.